Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and once again I welcome you to my IELTS reading video, and finally we have reached section 3 of IELTS reading, and the type of questions which we are going to do, that is list of headings. Now, list of heading is often confusing for many of you. I'm going to tell you how to approach this question type, how to skim the passage, especially the paragraph, and how to find the clue words or especially the topic sentence, how to locate the topic sentence, and then how to match that topic sentence with the correct heading and how to avoid the trap headings. This is what I'm going to tell you, and I'm fully determined to tell you about IELTS reading, about list of headings and other type of questions. Now let's take a start, and we are going to do this. I'm going to solve it with the help of this pencil, and I'm going to tell you how to do list of headings, and after watching this video, list of headings will not be a problem for you. Let's take a start. So we've got questions 37 to 40. As we are going to read all the passage, so it's a good idea to go through these questions and keep them in mind. It's one word only, and they say why Oimakan, whatever it is, you could just read it Oim. Gets so cold. Oim is a long way from any dash. Long way means far from any, which would prevent the temperature from falling so low. That anything is actually which is relative pronoun, would prevent the temperature from falling so low. So it's long way from means far from or at a long distance from. The town is located in a dash. Now this town is located in a dash within a plateau surrounded by. Now surrounded by, it can be surrounded by mountains, surrounded by hills, surrounded by trees or anything like that. Because there is not much dash, cold air collects in the town. Now because of this thing, cold air collects. Now what is it? So we need to keep in mind because of this, surrounded by, long way and all that. So you got to just keep this in mind, and at the end we can answer these questions as well. Now let's take a start. Okay, so we got list of questions, and I told you 11 headings, list of headings, and then 9 questions. All the passage is labeled. Anyways, let's take a start with the first paragraph. Now they say you don't need a sat nav to drive to Oim. From this you cross the Lena River and simply follow the M56 and all that before taking left. Now they're explaining. Usually in these type of explanations there are no headings. Okay, the journey takes 2 days. Alright, they're telling about journey, the duration. 2 days of glistening landscape, frozen rivers and untouched snow, 2 days of endless forest, breathtaking beauty, 2 days of this and all that. They're telling us 2 days this, 2 days this, and reach the coldest inhabited place on earth. So in order to reach there, 2 days for frozen rivers and this and that. The beauty surprised me, okay. Siberia isn't known for its pleasant appearance. This is something important. Siberia isn't known for its pleasant appearance. It's always billed as a place of hardships. See that? Now what Siberia is, what it is known for, what is popular about it, and what it actually is. That's what they are telling us. And the heading is here. Siberia. Before that, that was just the explanation how to reach there. Now in these 3 lines we've got the topic sentence. Okay, this is Siberia isn't known for its pleasant appearance. It's always billed as a place of hardships, but for hour after hour, the wintry wonderland was bathed in a crisp, clean sunshine, presenting a continuous panorama of conifer trees wreathed in silence and snow. Now let's keep this in mind that it isn't, it's always billed as a place of hardship, and Siberia isn't known for its pleasant appearance. So we got to go back and see which heading is going to be appropriate, and this is how now we are going to read the headings first time. That's why underline the important words there as well. Various sources of supplies. Okay, the effects of going outside. Okay, Oim past and present. For this heading you need to focus on past tense and present tense both. Contrast in the landscape, contrast in the landscape, okay. Animals that can survive in the cold, where they talk about animals. How OM is affected by its location. So how this area is affected by its location. So far, I mean, I don't think there is anything. Keeping out the cold, okay. Not the only challenging time of the year. Not the only challenging time. This is negative. Better than its reputation. Yes, I tell you why. Better than its reputation. Now be alert. Better than its reputation. The sentence which they have mentioned over here, the beauty surprised me. Siberia isn't known for its pleasant appearance. Now this is reputation. Siberia isn't known for its pleasant appearance. It's always billed as a place of hardships, but for hour after hour. Now, but for after hour after hour. Now, here they are saying the opposite thing. So, this is what Siberia is known for, and there they say about the reputation. So, better than its reputation, because he said but, and then after that whatever he mentioned here, but for hour after hour, the wintry wonderland and all that. So, it's going to be heading number 9. Better than its reputation. For paragraph A, we will write 9. And remember, you got to write list of headings in the same Roman number. Don't write in other number like you write 9. This will be wrong. You will not get any mark for that. Okay. You can write capital or small, no problem. You can write 9 like this, or you can write 9 like this. This is fine. But you cannot write the other 9. Okay, this is taken, so we don't need to read ahead. Now let's go to paragraph B, and then we are going to see what is appropriate heading for that. Okay, it's a short paragraph, so you can read it all easily. And by the way, for section 3, you should spare around 30 minutes, because here there is a long passage. So do section 1 and 2 in 30 minutes, and for section 3 you should have half an hour. As we left the flat plain, the road began to twist and turn. Okay, they're talking about the road, leading us into untouched hills and on towards the where. Now don't try to read it all. Mountains. Beneath their snowy clad peaks, the slopes became steeper. Now they're talking about the land they had over there, right? They're saying snowy clad peaks, slopes became steeper, and the valleys deeper. Okay, valleys, mountains, peaks. Down in a valley, we stopped to look at a hot spring beside the road. It was immediately obvious against the snow, a spot shrouded in heavy mist. Trees emerged from the strange haze. So we keep in mind all these things, whatever we read about it, and now we go back and we see what were they talking about. Various sources of supplies, no. The effects of going outside, no. OM past and present, no. A contrast in the landscape, yes. Now I tell you, when they were talking about mountains, snow-clad peaks, then they were talking about valleys, then they were talking about spring. So all these things are basically trees, right? So all these things are taking us towards the landscape. A contrast in landscape. Somewhere there are the trees, valleys, mountains, peaks and all that. Now peak and valley, they are the contrast. So they were talking about a contrast in the landscape. For paragraph B, heading number 4 is the right answer. Okay, alright. Now we cross heading number 4 as well, so that it doesn't bother us. Now let's go on. We've got the next paragraph, and that is C. Despite the magical ambience of the Siberian wilderness, its reputation for hardship hit me every time. Okay, reputation of hardship hit me every time. I climbed out of the vehicle. Within less than a minute, the skin all over my face began to feel as if it were burning. Okay, now they are telling us what happened when he came out of the vehicle. Within less than a minute, the skin, actually he said its reputation, then say I climbed out of the vehicle. Out of the vehicle means outside. Okay, now he's just telling us the effects of coming outside. If I wasn't wearing my 2 sets of gloves, I rapidly lost the feeling in my fingertips. I learned very quickly not to draw too deep a breath because the shock of the cold air in my lungs invariably set me off on an extended bout of coughing. Okay, Siberia in winter is a world barely fit for human habitation. All right, now the effects and all that. Siberian winter world is not fit for human. This is a place of such searing cold that it bites through multiple layers of clothing as if they aren't there. Now let's see which heading is going to be appropriate for that. Various sources of supplies, no. The effects of going outside, yes, why not, why not? Now see, when he said going outside, for going outside, he actually used the word here. Every time I climbed out of the vehicle, climbing out of the vehicle means going outside, and then he talks about the effects. After that, whatever he says, he is actually talking about the effects. So for paragraph C, the right option is number 2, and we cross number 2 as well. Alright, okay. Now let's go on. The next is paragraph D, and we just do that. Okay, paragraph D is I'm not reading, it's Oymyakon is a quite little town, alright. The world's coldest, of about 550 inhabitants, with its own power station, a school, 2 shops and a small hospital. It probably originated past. It probably originated, that is past. And Oymyakon is a quite little town, that is present. Now do I need to tell you which heading is appropriate? Not at all. You know it already. You know what I mean. This is how you got to read the paragraph. So it probably originated as a seasonal settlement. Believe me, after watching these videos, Cambridge people are going to change the test pattern. They are just going to say, well, Asad Yaqub has explained all our tricks, all our techniques and all that. Now we need to change the test pattern. This is present, this is past seasonal settlement where reindeer herds spent, past tense, the summer on the banks of the Indigrica river. Now they are talking about past and present, and we go back and see if there is any heading. Various sources, no, yeah. Oymyakon, past and present, heading number 3. So for paragraph D, heading number 3 is the right answer, and I cross 3 here as well. Okay, now we go on to paragraph E, and we are going to see which one is the right option. Let's see. The temperature when I arrived was 45. Now remember, whenever there is any story, you need to go on quickly. There cannot be anything. The temperature when I arrived minus 45 centigrade, not particularly cold. I was informed a number of factors combined to explain Oymyakon's record low temperature. Now they are going to talk about a number of factors. You got to read carefully. Number of factors combined to explain record cold temperature. It is far from the ocean. Oh God, 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 just a minute. Just a minute. It rings a bell actually. Yeah. Oymyakon is a long way from any. Long way from any. Shmaila, I'm going to make the same video, okay? So we plan to make a separate video for that, but now the answer has come, that's why. And by the way, Shmaila is operating the camera. She is a wonderful camera man, not cameraman, okay? So Oymyakon is a long way from any. Long way from any. This is why I say you should read the questions and keep them in mind. So they say, it is far from the ocean, far from the ocean, and that is the answer of this question. So Oymyakon is a long way from any ocean, alright, yeah, which would prevent the temperature from falling so low. The town is located in, let me see if I find the answers here, right, with its moderating effect on air temperature. In addition, the town sits in a valley. The town sits in a valley. Now town sits in a valley, and what is the question? The town is located in a, sits in or located in, it's the same thing. So the answer is valley. right? See that? I'm killing two birds with one stone. Let's not kill the birds. The birds are very lovely and they are loving. Okay, within a plateau, surrounded by what? This is what we call sixer. Below the general level of a Mekong plateau, which in turn is enclosed on all sides. Enclosed on all sides means surrounded by. Enclosed on all sides, it means surrounded by. Surrounded by what? Mountains. I'm so happy. Wow, wow, wow. We are doing a lot. Mountains. Okay, and let me see. Because there is not much dash, cold air collects in the town. Now what is it? Okay, meters in high. As the cold air sinks, it accumulates in the valley with little wind to disturb it. Little wind. Now little and no. See that? As the cold air sinks, it accumulates in the valley, the cold air, with little wind to disturb it. So what is not there? Because there is not much wind. Okay, cold air collects. For collects, what are they using? See that here? Where is it? Yeah, here. Okay, little wind to disturb it. So little wind to disturb it. It says cold air sinks. Cold air sinks. It accumulates in the valley, cold air, with little wind to disturb it. So wind is the answer. So we have solved questions 37, 38, 39 and 40 as well. So that's why whenever there is a list of headings, I would say read all the questions. This is the golden tip from Asad Yaqub. Read other question, read all questions of that passage, right? So that the questions are in mind and you can answer. Now see, I've answered 37, 38, 39 and 40. Now let's go on. That was not in my plan, by the way. So we need to see which heading is going to be appropriate. Now we know they are talking about location and then they are saying things about that. So we can just see a little more. We've read almost all of it. Average temperature in January is -50. Lower temperature have been recorded in Antarctica, but there are no permanent inhabitants there. Okay, now let's see. Question number is 32. We got to see which heading is going to be appropriate for that. Various sources, no. Next, animals that can survive the cold. They did not talk about any animal at all so far, so it is not going to be the animal. Next is the Oymyakon is affected by its location. Yes, yes, yes. They talked about location and how it was affected by its location. I tell you once again, when they are saying here, first temperature, and then I was informed a number of factors, record low temperature, it is far from. Now this is location. Far from is location. Okay, it's no other than location. Far from, which is moderating effect on air temperature. In addition, the town sits in a valley, that is also location. Town sits in a valley, far from, and all that. Okay, so that's all about its location, right? So heading number, how Oymyakon is affected by its location, that is heading number 6. So heading number 6 is done. Taken. Okay, now we are left with number 1, number 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, and remember there are 2 traps as well. Okay, with Asad Yaqub you will not be trapped. Next is paragraph F, and we are going to see which heading is appropriate for paragraph F. Okay, this one now, I'll just take this out. Okay, now there they say day-to-day life. They are going to talk about day-to-day life. In Oymyakon presents certain challenges. Now they are going to talk about challenges of day-to-day life, right? This is the topic sentence, but we got to see what they are going to talk about. During the long winters, there are hardly any modern household conveniences. Very clear, very, very clear. And I'm familiar with headings also. Day-to-day life and any modern household conveniences. Conveniences means facilities. Facilities of day-to-day life. Now I don't need to read on because I know there is one option and that option can be the right option. Let's see. very few facilities in buildings. Now where is buildings? That's what I'm going to tell you now. If you just read ahead. Water is hacked out of the nearby river as great chunks of ice and dragged home on a sledge. The giant ice cubes are stacked outdoor and carried into the house. Now they are talking about house, they are talking about home, once at a time to melt when needed. The lack of running water also means no shower or baths or indeed flushing toilets. Okay, since 2008 the town school has enjoyed the luxury of indoor toilets. However, it's one of the small number of civic buildings, right? It's one of the small number of civic buildings. Now one clue is here and one clue is over here, right? So what is that? That says very few facilities in buildings. So this says here it's one of the small number of civic buildings, and then the facilities, very few facilities in buildings, that can be home as well. So option number 10, very few facilities in building, is going to be the right answer for paragraph F, number 10. Okay, number 10 is taken, so we cross it here as well. Now let's go on, question number 34, it's paragraph G. So we got to see which option is going to be the right one, and remember we are left with one, and then we've got the second one, this is the third one, and fourth one, and fifth one. Okay, so let's see. The power station provides winter heating in the form of hot water. Okay, they have a power station, it provides winter heating in the form of hot water. Okay, but many houses lie outside its range and rely on their own wood burning stove. Fuel is plentiful enough in the surrounding forest. Okay, but someone still has to venture out to cut the wood. Oh yeah, in the snow, huh? Everybody in Oimayakon owns good boots. They have good boots. A hat made of animal fur. Now they are talking about animal. This is a trap. This is a perfect trap. I tell you why. They are saying a hat made of animal fur and fur lined mittens. Mittens are the one gloves we wear on hand. Okay, the boots are usually made from reindeer hide. Now again they are talking about animal, but they are talking about their fur and their hide and all that. Reindeer hide means reindeer skin, which is light but keeps your feet very warm. The individual hairs are hollow like a thin tube with air inside. Now let me tell you where is the trap heading and what is the right heading for question number 34. They were talking about animals that can survive the cold. They talked about animal, but they did not talk about any animal that survive the cold. Hence heading number 5 is a trap. Okay, this is a trap. Now actually we are left with various sources of supplies. They didn't talk about it here, right? Then we are left with keeping out of cold. Yes, why not? They were talking about mittens, they were talking about boots. So keeping out of the cold. I tell you once again, power station provides winter heating, form of hot water. Then they are talking about good boots. Then they are talking about hat from animal fur, right? Then they are talking about reindeer hide, which is light but keeps your feet very warm. So all these things. And then they say air is poor conductor of heat, the skin makes excellent winter footwear, and felt soles give added insulation. Hats come in a variety of furs including fox, raccoon, sable and mink. These are just the animals, right? So option number 7, keeping out of the cold, is the right option for paragraph G. Now see what's the logic and how we find the logic. Now we are left with 2, paragraph H and I, but we've got this heading, then we've got this heading and this heading. One trap heading is already out. Yeah, we were clever enough to make the trap out. Now let's go on. The next one is H. So let's see which heading is appropriate for that. Oimayakon's 2 shops keep a decent stock of basic food. So they have 2 shops and a decent stock of basic of food in tins and packets. Okay, but locals also have to do it yourself options. They have do it yourself options. Now if you notice carefully, they are talking about the options of the shops and the provision and all that, including hunting, okay, trapping, ice fishing, reindeer breeding and horse breeding. Now this is what they do. These are just the options. OMA accounts 2 shops, keep a decent stock of basic food, and then they do packets by locals, and tins and packets they have, but locals also have to do it yourself options. What are those options? Hunting, trapping, ice fishing, reindeer breeding and horse breeding. Indeed, being self-sufficient runs. So let's see the headings which we have. Various supplies, various sources of supplies. Why not? Various sources of supplies. What are the sources? Shops, right? Then hunting, trapping, ice fishing, reindeer breeding, horse breeding, right? So these are just the sources, and they are the various sources, right? So that's why various sources of supplies, heading number 1, is going to be an appropriate answer for H, question number 35. Let's go on. Now we are left with last paragraph, and we have 2 options. Either this is also taken. Either it's going to be not the only challenging time of the year, or more snow than anywhere else in the world. Well, I doubt about this, but let's see, because these type of headings are always the trap ones. Anyways, let's go on. Spring is the best season here. Okay. I am told the snow melts, the river flows once more, and the forest is full of wind flowers. Okay. But it's short. In the summer, what is short? Spring is short. In the summer, Oimayakon can be uncomfortably hot. Okay, uncomfortably hot, much of the forest becomes boggy, so mosquitoes are a constant presence, and climate certainly wouldn't suit me, but residents I spoke to said they wouldn't live anywhere else. They were so happy. That's why we say home sweet home. So let's see, they are actually talking about spring is the best season, then snow melts and what happens, and then uncomfortably hot, much of the forest becomes boggy, mosquitoes and all that. So we are left with 2 options. One is number 11, more snow than anywhere in the world. It was a trap. See, we found 2 traps. Now we are left with not the only challenging time of the year. Not the only challenging time of the year. Now why not the only challenging time of the year? I tell you, I explained that to you. When they say spring is the best season, but when they say spring is the best season, it means this is not the only challenging time of the year. Not the only. When some season is best, spring is the best season here, not the only challenging time of, then say I'm told the snow melts and rivers and all that. Summer can be uncomfortably hot. Again, not the only challenging time of the year is spring. Summer is hot, right? There are mosquitoes and all that. So spring is the best season here. For this, they have written not the only challenging time of the year. So heading number 8 is going to be here. This is how you got to do list of headings, and we have already done with this type of questions, which is called summary completion. So this is how we have completed this test. Welcome back. So you might have noticed list of headings is quite confusing and it's a little bit tricky, but you need to be active. The extra headings are always there to trap you, so you have to be careful about extra headings, and if you select one wrong heading, your 2 answers are going to be wrong, so you have to be careful about it. If you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel. I also teach IELTS online. If you want to join my online IELTS classes, you can contact me for that. Asad Yaqub wishes you all the best with your IELTS preparation, with your IELTS. Take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.